Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
Hey, good Friday morning to you. It is time now for Home Repairs and Solutions with Mark and Mary. Brought to you by Spring Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Amana dealer. And now here are your hosts, Mary Pearson and Mark Withers. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Dan.
Morning.
Beautiful warm day.
Oh, just nice and toasty.
I love it. Don't you love it hot? I love it hot.
Yeah. I see a little smirk on your face there, Mary. Uh-huh.
It's all good for me. It's all good for me.
Yeah. You know, the only time I like this temperature is when I'm on the beach somewhere, and I'm not on the beach.
That does make it a little more tolerable. I will agree with you.
Yeah.
It
You know, a
does.
good ocean breeze helps a lot.
Yes,
but,
it does. Yes, it does.
This hot Ozarks breeze, I'm not about have my fill of it. So.
Well, I was talking to you a bit earlier, and I heard last Friday your concert off of Evans Road went great.
Oh, it was fantastic. We surpassed what our expectations. We sold out, and we had a
That's
packed
wonderful.
house.
That's wonderful.
And our Greater Ozarks Bluegrass Society, we actually were able to put a little money in the pot for further
Good.
concerts and stuff.
Good.
I mean, it was just super. We couldn't be happier.
It was a great place to be. It was hot.
It was, and you know, I want to thank the folks out there at River Bluff Fellowship. They didn't know us from Adam. They let us come in and use their facility out there.
Wow.
And you know, they were aware that this wasn't going to be a gospel concert. It was just, you know, they did some gospel songs, but it's mostly secular music. And the pastor out there, when it was all over with, I said, "Well, Pastor, what'd you think?" And he grabbed my shoulder and he said, "I'm going to tell you something." He said, "Anytime you guys want our facility here, it's yours to use."
That
they
is
were
great.
they were tickled. And so, I mean, such nice folks out there. And so we just had a great time.
Good. Well, I'm anticipating further announcements of more concerts coming up then.
So, yeah, we're working on it.
That'll be great.
Yeah, so.
Well, today we have a guest in our show in the audience here, and her name is Amanda Brown. She's with 417 Pet Sitting. Now, doesn't almost everybody have a pet these days? I think pretty much everybody has.
Pretty
a
much
pet.
about everybody, yeah.
I think so. So I think this will be a really fun show for all you listeners out there. If you have pets, you can give us a call. She has all kinds of wonderful information and services that she can provide for you and your pet. We'll give out that phone number so that you can have that when you're ready to call in, and that's 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. And so, Amanda, welcome to the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and I guess this is your first time to be on the radio.
It is. I'm very excited.
Well, it will be fun. Why don't you just go ahead and tell our listeners a little bit about what you do so they'll know what to call in about.
We offer in-home pet sitting services as a safe, intelligent alternative to boarding and kenneling. Your fur kids can stay at home in their own surroundings with their own smells, all their own toys, their own backyard. We can do birds, cats, dogs, horses, chickens. You know, we run the gamut. I've got people on staff that can cover all of that. But the main point is that the kids get to stay at home so that they don't have to be cooped up for a week while you're on vacation. Or even if you're just stuck at work all day and you need someone to come over and take them out at lunchtime for a walk, we can provide those services. All my sitters are licensed, bonded, and insured, so you're getting an actual pet sitting professional that comes out to the house and make sure that not only your house but your fur kids are all safe at home.
I love that for kids.
For kids, I do
I love
too.
that.
Yeah.
That's a great word.
Yeah.
Hadn't heard that before.
That's so my word.
That is, and you know, and it fits what you're doing, so that's great. And you know, a lot of us that have pets, a lot of people know that I have a little Bichon named Tucker, and he comes with me to the office and goes with me everywhere. And you know, they are like your children.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, my kids think that he's been treated better than they were, but I don't think so. But I do get accused of that occasionally. So, you know, and that's one thing that is true. A few times when my husband and I have traveled for different things, and we've tried to find kennels or different places to board them and stuff, and it is kind of difficult to take off and leave your pet somewhere that's strange to them, and and they make you feel really bad when you do that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, mine would make me feel guilty for leaving him there.
There'll be
so.
no guilt when you get home from vacation after 417 Pet Sitting has been there, because we cuddle on the couch with them. They can sleep with us. We'll take them for long walks. Take the horses out riding. You know, we'll run the gamut for you. Make sure that they're safe and happy, and there's no guilt trips when you get home.
Wow, that's neat.
That is
And,
neat.
and I'm not really a pet owner. I have a cat, outdoor cat.
Oh, well,
but,
cats aren't real pets, are they?
You know,
They just do their own
They
thing.
just do their own thing.
They do.
Exactly. You know.
But they still need food and water.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
The
Shelter.
occasional gooch behind the ear.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's so interesting. You know, and I've, like I say, not being a pet owner, I just never have had to have those kind of services. But my kids, they have a couple huskies, and I know it's a chore when they go on vacation or have to leave, you know, for a few days to get the dogs taken care of. It's hard to get them in a kennel, you know, and like you say, I guess dogs have anxiety just like people do. You know,
Absolutely.
it's something different. It's a big scary world out there for some of them. So you guys just take care of that. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, that, and we also keep your home safe, because we can bring in the mail, water the plants, grab the paper, you know. So then not only are your pets taken care of, but your home is nice and secure too. So it's a good deal.
Do you do windows?
No, but you can call Bill over at Fish Windows if you really want.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot more than pet sitting.
Yeah.
No, I don't do windows.
Oh, okay. Well, just thought I'd throw that in there. Are there any certain animals that you won't take care of? I mean, some people have a lot of exotic stuff. I don't know. I'm not a big exotic person like lizards and all that kind of stuff.
Snakes
And
yeah.
you know, a lot of people have those big snakes, and you got to
We
feed them
have-
live
yeah.
chickens and stuff or whatever they do.
Most of them get live rats, but yes, we have clients. I have a client who's got a squirrel. He hit it with
A squirrel?
a lawnmower, and so he has this pet squirrel because it's never been released back out in the wild. Tarantulas, birds, lizards. I mean, sugar gliders. We do it all.
What is that?
a sugar glider? It's just like a little lizard deal.
Oh,
You like
wow.
walk around with them in your pocket if you want to.
okay.
Huh,
But
okay.
I don't walk around with it in my pocket.
I've never even heard of that, so that's something I just
Yeah,
learned.
we can do it all. We can do the exotics. I have a wide variety of people on my staff. Like, I have one gal who takes care of all my equine clients because she is an expert in horses. That's what her background is in. She actually used to show horses herself. So we can even take care of like the prize horses, the foxtrotters, the Clydesdales.
Wow.
So we can do everything from the exotics to the show horse and even your run-of-the-mill feral cat that you have hanging out in your backyard. We've got it
Wow.
covered.
You know what amazes me is, here, I'm out trying to build houses and keeping my crews going and selling real estate and,
Playing
Mary, they're out there.
music
Yeah,
and-
Mary, they're out there installing heat and air, and you're doing something that probably is a joy. Not that we don't have a good time with our jobs, but it probably is a joy to get up every morning and go to work.
Absolutely. 5 o'clock in the morning and they're there wagging their tail just ready to go. So, yeah, it's a great time. I mean, no one yells at you. There's nothing's ever late. Everything's always good. You go for a walk, you hang out, you collect eggs.
Wow. How'd you get started doing this?
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't have. I mean, how did you get into this profession?
Honestly, I was getting a cup of coffee one morning and a lady walked in and started talking about how she got a promotion at work and she needed someone to walk her dogs on Fridays. And so I started walking one Great Dane on Friday afternoons. And 10 years later, I have a full-blown pet sitting company with 7 employees, and we just go. It really was one of those things that it started out kind of as a favor, and then I got involved in Great Dane Rescue of the Ozarks, and then I started doing other animal advocacy stuff, and somehow or another it's turned into a full-time career, and I'm very blessed and very happy for that.
Wow. That's cool.
That is amazing. It's always interesting to find out how people
Oh, yeah.
get into certain professions like that, because it's not something I don't think most people, when they're going to college or thinking about what they're going to do, say, I'm going to own a pet sitting company. That's probably not something on the, on the college curriculum that you pick from, I don't think.
No, absolutely. I actually have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in theater. So I was going to live in Chicago and be in theater. So,
Wow.
and somehow or another, I'm here in Springfield and playing with dogs, and it's delightful. I absolutely love it.
Now, you see these television shows, the dog whisperer and the horse whisperer and all this. do you ever run into pets that you just do not get along with, dogs? Or do you just have that thing about you that dogs just love you?
I have one dog that it's taken me about 6 months to really get her to warm up to me. She was a stray. She had been returned from the pound 4 or 5 times. But if you work with them and if you're nice and calm, there's accreditation classes through Pet Sitters International. So, I mean, I've taken the classes. I've gotten the education. I'm certified. And so they teach you how to deal with all the different temperament issues that dogs and cats may have. And that's why I do what I do, is because we've been trained on how to deal with the quote-unquote troublesome pets to get them to calm down and relax. And it is what it is.
Wow, that's cool, because I know if a pet or a dog especially senses, or a horse, senses that you are nervous or afraid or whatever, it makes it worse, you know.
They just get that much more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
I think because I've been doing it my entire life, even when I was little, we had Doberman Pinschers and you know, Red Bones, and so I've always had big dogs. And because it started out through Great Dane Rescue, the Ozarks, I've always been around these large dogs. And then because of the large dogs in the rescue, then I started getting a lot of the quote-unquote bully breeds. And so I have several clients that have the Pits and the Rottweilers. And I'm used to dealing with them, and I think that helps because I'm not afraid of them, because I've been around them so much, and I realize that it's just a really bad rap that those dogs have.
Right.
They're just big loves.
Wow. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. If you got a question for Amanda Brown with 417 Pet Sitting, we'd love for you to call in. Or if you want to talk to me or Mary, we're here too.
Absolutely. We've had a lot of people calling, talking to us this
Yes, we have. Yeah.
So that makes it a fun show if people call in, and you can get a lot of information, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just pick up
That's
the
right.
phone and give
Pick
us a
up the
call.
phone. Free call. And, you know, we've had several different topics, you know, on the program. And people say, well, how does that come into play with home repairs and solutions? This right here is a major solution for your home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we try to do. We try to encompass the whole entire home thing, not just the structure itself. So that's why I think this has been fun to do, and that's we can have a variety of people on here with all kinds of different information to give out to our listeners.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Amanda, do you find that this time of year, I mean, we're having some exceptionally hot temperatures, which is a little unusual for this area, but is there special things that, whether you're taking care of a person's pet or they're doing it themselves, that they really need to do this time of year because of the heat?
Obviously, if you're going to leave your kids outside, and even the horses that are out in the pasture, make sure they do have some form of shade, be it the lean-to out in the pasture, or, you know, a way to go under the patio, or just some sort of covering so they can get the shade. Of course, have plenty of water dishes. If you are used to leaving the pets outside, go ahead and leave a second water dish because it is excessively hot. I've started whenever I take the kids for a walk in the middle of the day, I try to make sure that there's grass for them to walk on because it's not as warm as the sidewalks or the asphalt of the roads. Always check the pads of their feet when you come back inside. Make sure that, you know, they haven't stepped on something inadvertently, or make sure that there isn't any blistering or heat damage if you've gone for a longer walk. Try to go earlier in the morning or later in the evening as opposed to right at noon when it's just blistering. But you just make the same adjustments for them as you would for yourself.
Do it for yourself.
So
Well, yeah, it makes it more comfortable for you too if you're walking early in the morning or late in the evening.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Which brings up a question: Do you have to worry about pets getting sunburnt?
The shorter-haired pets, yes. Particularly ones that have the white hair or the lighter skin, along with the shorter hair, they do get sunburnt, and so you do have to worry about that.
Is there any product you can put on them to, you know, we all slather ourselves in sunscreen every
Yeah.
time we're going to be out in the sun, or we do in my family anyway, but is there any kind of product for your pet for that? So if they are going to be outside for a long period of time that they don't get burnt, or you just have to kind of, I don't know. I just never thought of that, so I didn't know.
You can spray them with sunscreen just like you would yourself. It protects them. Generally speaking, with those particular breeds, or of course the Chinese hairless, you just don't want to leave them out in the sun for a long period of time because their bodies can't handle it. But you can slather them down with sunscreen. You can even put cute little shirts on them to make sure that their little backs don't get sunburnt. But it's best just not to leave those particular breeds outside all the time.
Wow. I think I never thought about that. That's good. That's a good question.
Well, my
Mary.
Bichon is white,
Uh-huh.
and he has really white, kind of pinkish skin underneath. So he's, and I've noticed with him that he loves to be outside and play and all that. But whenever he's out in the sun for a little bit, then he always finds a shady spot. It's like they kind of instinctively know that as
Yeah.
well. I think.
Absolutely.
But he goes with us on the boat and stuff and different things. So. Because he loves to swim and all that, but I was just thinking, I wonder if there's anything I can put on him so that that he won't get sunburnt.
With the Bichons,
So-
their hair is a little coarser, so
It
they're a
is.
little more protected than, for example, the Chinese hairless
Yeah.
or the Danes with the short hair.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Well, we got a caller, Mike here in Springfield. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, good morning, folks. I'm a full-time student, and I work, and I've got a 1-year-old female long-haired chow that's always cooped up in the house until I get home. Now, it sounds like a dumb question, and I regret not being able to walk her frequently. What's the downside? Sounds like a stupid question. What's the downside? What kind of damage am I doing to her by not walking her on a regular basis?
by not walking her on a regular basis, there's not really a downside to it. Obviously, when she gets older, if you're free feeding her as opposed to just doing the 2 feedings morning and evening, she could put on the excess weight. Also, as they get older, being a medium breed, you have to worry about things like hip dysplasia. So the more active you can keep her, not only is it going to keep her in the proper weight range, but it's also going to keep her active and keep those joints loose and going. And of course, if you want one of the sitters to come over, we can take her for a walk every day for sure.
I'll keep that in the memory banks, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Oh, thanks for the call, Mike.
Speaking of that, why don't you go ahead and give people your contact information and your phone number and how they can reach you if they, if for instance Mike wants to give you a call after the show or something, how can they get a hold of you?
You can always reach us at 417-827-PETS, which is 417-827-7387. And of course, the website is 417petsitting.com. And there's a space up at the top where you can click on the big yellow box and schedule a consultation, find out more information about us, and have us come out to meet your fur kids and see what all we can come up with.
I'm
Okay.
looking at your website right now.
Yeah, it's a fun website.
Yeah.
You've got all kinds of pictures on there, and just it's very interesting to look through.
I like
and,
the picture of the scooter with the girl on it and the little dog.
Does that little
on the
girl
back.
look familiar to you at all?
That's you, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, that's what I thought. So, but that's like I say again, I this is something that I never thought about, and not being a big pet guy, but this is a wonderful deal.
Thank you.
Is it? And this is probably a loaded question. Maybe shouldn't ask you this, but is it really expensive to, just like for basic coming over and walking your dog once a day? I mean, are we talking huge cost or?
Absolutely not. For what you spend on your coffee habit every week, you can have a professional pet sitter. We charge by the time as opposed to the pet. So if you want a 30-minute dog walk, no matter how many kids you've got, we'll come over to the house, take them for a walk, or play with them out in the backyard so they get some exercise in. But for 30-minute walks here in Springfield or visits, it's $15. Outside of Springfield and any of the surrounding areas is $20, and that's just to account for travel time for my sitters.
Sure.
But we cover everything from Rogersville to Republic, Branson to Marshfield.
Wow.
that's a pretty big area.
Yeah, it is.
I bet there's got to be a lot of pets in that area.
There are a ton of pets. I believe the last statistics released, it was 62% of households in the Tri-County area have pets. So
Wow,
Bunch.
that is a lot.
Yeah.
I just thought of something here, looking through your website here. When someone calls you initially for the first time to talk to you, do you always go out and, I guess before you set anything up, come and have a consultation and meet with the owners and the pets? And,
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We
So
never
you can't
wanna,
just yeah.
We never want to walk into a house without meeting the pets beforehand, because that can cause additional anxiety issues. Not to mention, if it's one of the larger breeds, or a dog that's been raised as a guard dog, we obviously want to make friends with them and have the owner there to introduce us before just walking into a house unbeknownst.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because some people do have them for guard dogs, so that would make sense.
Particularly in the rural areas, they've got them as guard dogs, or
Sure.
they're with the cows, or they're there doing a job.
Okay. So how long is a consultation? I mean, if someone called you today, could you get out there today, or does it take a week? Or, I mean, what kind of time frame, if they're thinking about using your services, do they need to have in mind when they call you?
Generally speaking, they can either call or go to the website and fill out a consultation form, and then I try to get back to them within a couple hours if they do have to go to voicemail or the email. But I call them, get a general feel for what they're needing, what their price range is, if they're needing in-home overnight service, if they're just needing a couple visits a day, and based on what their needs are and where they're located, I call a sitter and say, hey, I have a new client for you. This is their name and phone number. Can you please call and set up a consultation? And then the sitter calls, goes out, does the consultation. It takes about an hour to take down all of the information, get a key or a garage code, have them sign a pet sitting agreement, go through all the liabilities, because we do carry a $2 million liability policy just to protect us and them and their pets while they're away.
Yeah.
So the whole process from the time you initiate to the time a sitter is calling you to set up a consultation should be less than 24 hours.
Oh, wow, that's pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Done. That's pretty quickly.
Yep.
I answer my phone 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Sundays I like to sleep in, so.
Yeah.
Well, everyone needs a day
You
off.
gotta have
Even the
that.
pet sitter.
That's
needs a day
right.
off.
That's right. We're talking with Amanda Brown, 417 Pet City, right here on Home Repairs and Solutions. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
For the Ozarks News Network, here's your 10:30 report. The Taney County coroner has positively identified a body found near Pro Tem as that of Rebecca Porter. Porter and her husband Russell disappeared from their home near Willard 3 months ago. A second body, thought to be Russell's, has yet to be positively identified. The 75th Annual Ozark Empire Fair opens this morning. The fair lasts through August 7th. Gates open at 11 each morning. Midday rides open at 1 each afternoon. Water misters will be in place throughout the fairgrounds to help fairgoers deal with the heat. A heat advisory remains in effect for the Ozarks for another day. The advisory will remain in effect until 7 tonight, with heat indices expected to be as high as 105. A man from Kansas City has drowned in Truman Lake. 79-year-old James Evans was pulling a boat with a rope when he disappeared beneath the water near Osage Bluff boat ramp. His body was recovered some 4 hours later. I'm Jamie Turner reporting for the Ozarks News Network.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where even the chaff is wheat, and this is a pop quiz. True or false? Finding discounts means clipping coupons. False. By sitting down with a farmer's agent, you'll get access to discounts that could save you hundreds on home and auto insurance. If you said true, put down the scissors and start saving on more than just canned yams.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Call a farmer's agent to see how you can save on auto and home insurance. Find your local agent at farmers.com.
We use 50 kinds of fasteners, and if we run low, we need more of them. Fast business.
At Grainger, we know what business you're in.
The more our customers grow, the more we grow business.
The business of getting things done. That's why we offer over 900,000 products and the support you need to get your job done right and on time. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by one of our branches. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're expecting a baby or a grandchild, or maybe you have a friend who's expecting, I have an idea for the perfect baby gift. Don't do the whole diaper, baby basket. Everybody does that. They're going to get plenty of that stuff. Here's a gift that lasts a lifetime. Reading. We have an amazing offer today on the Your Baby Can Read program. This is the program that teaches infants and toddlers to read. I've seen the videos of these kids reading. It's absolutely amazing. Studies prove that early readers perform better in school and later in life. They have more self-esteem. They're more likely to stay off drugs. The research tells us that the best time for kids to learn a language language is between 3 months and 5 years old because that's when over 90% of brain development takes place. Your Baby Can Read gives you a chance to make a powerful difference. They're going to let the first 200 callers try the Your Baby Can Read program absolutely risk-free. If you're a parent or guardian or grandparent or you know someone who's expecting, this is your chance. The first 200 callers try the Your Baby Can Read program risk-free. Call now. 1-800-496-3365. 1-800-496-3365. 1-800-496-3365.
Very hot and humid today with times of clouds and sunshine. We'll see a thunderstorm in the afternoon with a high 96. Rather cloudy and humid again this evening with a thunderstorm. Low tonight 74. Times of clouds and sun tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm around. Hot and humid to start the weekend with a high 92. Low tomorrow night 73. Partly sunny, very hot and humid on Sunday, high 95. As you head back to work on Monday, it will be mostly sunny, high again 95. I'm AccuWeather's Jason Lord.
And the present temperature reading in Springfield is now up to 90 degrees.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And you're listening to Home Repairs and Solutions here on KWTO with Mark and Mary. Brought to you by Spring Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Amana dealer. And now, once again, Mary Pearson and Mark Weathers and their guest for today.
Thank you, Dan.
Welcome back, everyone. This is a time of the show where I usually ask Mark if he's got anything going on, because, you know, he's a happening kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he has something going on tonight.
Actually, I do, and I'd like to invite folks to come out to Rogersville this evening at the Senior Center. We're doing a fundraiser for them, playing a little music. I think we play first at 6 o'clock, and I think we play a couple times, but we're raising money for the Senior Center out there, so it's going to be a fun evening. Senior Center is just right there by the railroad tracks. Right, Rogersville's not a huge town, so you'll be able to find it. But we're just going to have a good time, hopefully raise a little money for them folks out there. So it's going to be the Withers family playing, and we're just going to have a big time.
I'll bet they're excited to have you out there.
You know, we've played out there once before, but it's been a few years ago, and such nice people down there. And, you know, we try to do a lot of things like that. You know, that's you got to help the folks in the community. And,
Absolutely.
You know, I think it's very important, and so we're all looking forward to it. We're just going to have a good time, play music, and whatever.
Now, you don't have to be a senior citizen to come to watch you.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that
Just
you
wanted to
can
clarify that
anybody can come and support the Senior Center because we're wanting your money. I mean, hey, bottom line, we want your money. It's what we want.
There you go. You get to have get to listen to some good music and donate to someone here in the community that can
That's
still
right.
help. So is it a pay at the door? How's this working?
You know, I
is
do
it just
not
are you
know.
just going to pass the bucket or?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
And I'm
You're not in
very-
charge of that part,
I'm not
are
in
you?
charge of that part, so all I know is we're supposed to be there to play at 6 o'clock. And so-
Okay. All right.
but
And
yeah,
it'll be inside in the air conditioning, I'm taking it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I have played several events outside and it's this hot, and it's not a whole lot of fun. You know, I'll play anywhere, you know, but you know, it's funny, the older you get, you know, when I was, you know, 20 years old, why, shoot, this didn't bother me at all. I get out there and play music right in the hot sun, but the older you get, the less you like to do that. You prefer the air conditioning.
That's true, and you know, and Spring Mountain Air is happy to provide that for you if yours
That's
isn't
right.
working. So
Absolutely.
we like for people to like air conditioning too.
Yeah, and you know, I had a couple people over the course of the week call me and get your number and stuff.
Yes, they did. Yes, they
Yep.
did, and we went out and took care of some of them folks for you, and so I
We
appreciate
that very much.
And we can do that again this weekend. I think we're supposed to have a little bit of a, if you want to call it a cool down tomorrow, it's going to be 90 instead of 100, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that. So maybe we'll have just a little bit of reprieve tomorrow, but then next week, ooh, look out.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I know it.
Here we go.
Yep, that's right. So,
Well, for those of you who just tuned in, we're talking to Amanda Brown today with 417 Pet Sitting. She has a lot of interesting services she can provide for you and your fur kids. I love that, fur kids. And she has a great website, 417petsitting.com. One of the things on our website I was looking at here is that if some people have animals that might have some health issues or might need medication or different things for different reasons. So if that's the case, you can also take care of that as well.
Absolutely.
It's not just walking them and feeding them, but it's taking care of any kind of medical issues they might have.
Yep, absolutely. We can come in, give them sub-Q shots, just give them their morning and evening medications as needed, even if it's just antibiotics. Or the Pheno for daily use. It's just whatever they've got going on. We can make sure they get their medications at the proper time, the proper dosage.
Now, when you go into someone's home like that to take care of their pet, even if it's just to walk them for a day or something, do you require information on their vet just in case something were to happen and you needed to get their animal to the vet right away? Do you is that something they put in on the form or a number, or how do you handle something if you have a situation that's kind of an emergency situation?
When we go out to do the in-home consultation, the initial consultation, we take down all of the information. Even if you're just going to be a daily dog walk client, we go ahead and get all of the information on taking care of your pet, their medical needs, any vet issues they've had in the past, where your current vet is, the vet's phone number and address, any sort of medical history. We take down all that information. We also take down all the information about your home. That way, heaven forbid something does happen, we've got all that information on file, and we can just make sure that either get them to the vet if it's during business hours, or of course to the emergency hospital if it's after hours or on the weekend. Because we don't ever want something to happen to the animal because we didn't have all of the information. The consultation is very thorough, and one of the very first things we ask is, what's their medical history and who's your vet?
Do they have to let their veterinarian know that you can bring their animal in for treatment if they're out of town or something? I mean, is that something they have to do as well? Do they have to notify their veterinarian, or does that not matter?
Most of the time it doesn't matter. I have a very good relationship with most of the vets here in town and in the surrounding areas. Of course, it's always nice to let your vet know that you're going to be out of town and that you've got a professional pet sitter, just so that everyone's kind of in the loop. But at the same time, it is what it is. If you don't call your vet, that's no big deal, because our cars are logoed, my shirts are logoed, we've all got name tags. So when we come in with somebody's pet, generally speaking, the vets are very, very amiable, and they're just glad to provide service. Most of the time, they'll just put it on the client's bill, and they can take care of it when they get home. So the pet's care is always first in line.
Okay, good.
Now, Ian's also, and we may have touched on this earlier, but for the person who's going to be gone, say on vacation, gone a few days, Ian's will do overnight. Stay right there at the house.
Yep, absolutely. We can come out and do in-home overnight service where a sitter actually stays in your home overnight. Generally speaking, it's, somewhere in the 6 or 7 o'clock at night range until the 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning range. We come over, feed them dinner, take them for an evening walk, play with them, let them curl up with us on the couch and watch TV, let them curl up with us in bed and go to sleep, get up in the morning, play with them for a while, take them out again, feed them breakfast, of course administer any medications that are necessary. But absolutely, we're full service. We can do it during the day for lunch let-outs. We can do random visits, and of course, in-home overnight service.
Right. So it's really a peace of mind for somebody. If you take your pet to kennel it, you're never quite sure that they're getting the proper care. That there'd always be that little doubt in your mind. And this way, you got the medicine there that the pet's supposed to have, you got the proper food and everything, and somebody there, and it would be a big peace of mind to someone.
Absolutely. While we provide a pet sitting service, most of my clients say more than anything they appreciate the peace of mind, because they know that they can call or text their pet sitter, and we're going to call them back, and we're going to text them pictures of Fluffy laying on the couch with us, or out in the pasture with the horses. And it's great because if there is some sort of medical issue, they can call and say, hey, how's it going? Is the wound healing? How are the antibiotics? They can call and check in with us, and we're going to give them all of that pertinent information, as opposed to, they come home and, oh, well, something happened to Fluffy and she got in a dog fight, or, they come home and they've got parasites or some sort of issue. They can call and check in with us. Most of my clients call or text every couple days while they're gone for vacation, especially if they're going to be gone for 2 or 3 days, or 2 or 3 weeks, rather.
Yeah. Or Fluffy just got mad because Fluffy was left there and chewed the leg off the new sofa or something. You don't have that to worry about.
Thankfully, I haven't had that issue. I haven't really had any anxiety-ridden animals that have done anything too crazy.
Well, probably not if they're left in their own home.
Right.
The other thing about taking them to a kennel or something, and if you do that, I suggest that you check them out very, very well.
Make sure it's a clean facility. It smells like lemon as opposed to other things. Make sure the dogs are all happy. If they won't let you go check out the runs in a kennel, that's probably a red flag. Because there's a time and a place for kennels, and I'm all for that. But if you don't wish to kennel your pets, then we're a safe, intelligent alternative to that.
Right.
I just hate the thought of leaving my pet in a little cage. I just, he's never been in a cage. Some people crate train their animals, and there's a time and place for that as well. But since Tucker goes with us all the time, and I've never put him in a crate or anything, and I just hate the thought of him being in a crate.
Right.
So this is a great alternative to that, because then it's something that he doesn't have to be cooped up somewhere where he doesn't know, and confined to a small area, and then you don't know if because he's very active. He loves to play, so I don't know if he has room to play. I mean, there's all these things that, as a pet owner you think about, and you don't want your pet to be unhappy or stressed out if you're gone on vacation. So I think you provide a great service.
Thanks.
I wish I would have thought of it, but too late now.
It's a really good gig. I'm not gonna lie. I left a full-time job back in 2007 and have never looked back.
That's awesome.
So it's definitely a very rewarding deal. And like I said, everyone always meets me at the door wagging their tail, and I just get to have fun. It's a great job.
Absolutely. So you actually do pet sitting yourself as well, not just manage the business.
Oh, absolutely. I started hiring employees so that I didn't have to just manage the business. I started hiring them so that I could still have fun with my clients and grow at the same time, because it is such a great service and it's very much in demand. The more that people find out about it, they're like, oh, thank you so much. I can finally go on vacation again and not have to worry about what they're going to do with, the 2 dogs, the cats, the bird. Especially those that live out in the outlying areas that have the horses, the cows, the chickens, because we can take care of those as well. Because you can't board a cow.
No,
you just can't.
That's true. That is true.
Not unless you have a friendly neighbor with a fenced-in yard, but you don't see that very often, I don't think.
No, and I don't think any of your neighbors have random chicken coops lying around either.
No, usually not. That's for sure. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. We got about 10 minutes or so left in the program here today, and we would love to hear from you. We're talking to Amanda Brown with 417 Pet Sitting, talking about what to do when you all want to go on vacation and enjoy yourself, and the pet has to stay home. Why they can provide the service to come out and take care of them, walk them, feed them, do all that kind of fun stuff. And so if you got a question for her, please give us a call. Or if you just want to talk to me or Mary, we're here too to talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. So,
That's right.
Speaking of pets, and I don't know that I'll get this done this week or not, but the fair starts today.
It does. That's why it's 100 degrees
yes,
outside.
Absolutely.
It's
that's
hot
why
when the fair starts.
And that's why next week is going to be so hot because
it's fair time. Yep.
But I love going to the fair and looking at the livestock. I used to my ex-in-laws owned a big farm down in Eminence, Missouri. And they would go on vacation, and I would go down there, and he had hogs and cows and stuff, and I'd always get to take care of them, feed the hogs and the cows and stuff. So
you got to play farmer for a while.
I got to play farmer, and so I did grow a fondness to coon dogs, which I do like to coon hunt every now and then, and especially the hogs. I love messing with the hogs. And
I like them when they're in the form of pork chops.
There you go. That's when they're really good. Yeah, but that's why I love going to the fair and looking at all the livestock and stuff, and the goats. I love goats. I love to watch goats.
Oh, goats are a hoot. Oh my goodness, goats are fun. I have some clients with goats. Chickens are becoming my favorite because they're such quirky little birds, and believe it or not, they really do have personalities, and some of them are just fun.
Right. So I encourage everybody, if you can, go out to the fair. And,
sure.
We used to play out there. Matter of fact, when I was doing the show previously a few years ago, we do usually our show from out there at the fair at least one Friday.
Really?
Yeah,
Fun.
we did. KWTO had a booth set up for us,
Uh-huh.
and we did it. I don't know whether I want to, as hot as
I was
it
going
is
to say,
right now.
we'll have to discuss this later, Mark. I'm not sure
Yeah.
I'm up for sitting out at the fairgrounds melting outside of a.
I'll just do your live remote for you. Like I'll go out to the paddocks and
Yeah,
just
okay.
talk to the different
There we go.
exhibitors.
We'll just hook you up and let you go.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
outside all day anyways. I'll go hang out at the fair and
There
it'll
you
give me an
go.
excuse to take a day off.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, we got it covered. That's
Sold.
for sure. Yeah, sold. That's right. That is
So
right.
if you see Amanda walking around with earphones at the fair, you'll know what's going on.
Yep, that's true. So, you say you answer your phone 6 days a week from 7 in the morning till 7 of the night. Is that true?
I do. I answer my phone from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And then Sundays, I will usually answer it from about 8 until 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Mhm.
That being said, if you're an existing client and I already have you programmed into my phone and you call, I will generally answer it after
Mhm.
hours. So
All right. And that number again is?
417-827-7387.
So be sure and give Amanda a call. And how far ahead does people have to plan, like if they're going on vacation?
Obviously, if it's an emergency situation and someone has passed away or there's something devastating that's happened in your life, I've had people call me, day of, I just found out that someone passed away. My neighbor said to call you because they use you. Can you come out right now and take care of my pets? I mean, we'll do it on the fly if we have to. But if we've got a week or so notice at least, it makes it a lot less stressful on us. But we can do it on the fly if necessary. That's what we're here for.
Great.
That's better than calling 911, I think.
Well, it is.
Sometimes you got to wait a while.
Well, that's true. That's true. You do. Well, that I'm amazed at what you can actually do for a person that has furry kids, as you put it. I like the idea of the being able to come out to the house and stay when they're gone if you want to stay all night, because it does provide not only security for your pet but security for your home, and it's all about a big peace of mind. That's the whole
Absolutely.
bottom line.
And we'll bring in the mail for you. We'll bring in the paper. That way you don't have a stack of paper sitting at the end of the driveway that's telling burglars, hey, we're not home. Come check out our house.
Yeah.
That's
So we'll bring
right.
in the mail. We'll bring in the paper. We'll water the flowers, water the plants inside, rotate your blinds, make sure the maid can come in,
Great.
unlock the gate for the lawn service. We'll do it all.
Well, and that just while I'm thinking of this, Mary, that should be a topic of our show one day, is home security. So we need to get a hold of somebody in the home security business and get them on the program.
Yes, we do, because you know what? That's getting to be more and more of an issue.
Yes, it is.
Unfortunately, it is. So yeah, that would be someone that'd be great to have on the show.
Yep.
We'll make a note of that, and we'll see if we can get someone on to do that as well. Thanks for the heads up there, Amanda.
Yeah.
Not a problem. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, see, you provided us a great service right there, Amanda.
There
Top
you
of
go.
mind.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go. Next week we got Paul's going to be here from Spring
I believe
Mountaineer.
so.
You
Yes,
know
I
him
believe
pretty
so.
well, don't you?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with that guy since we've been married for like 35 years. So, yeah, I think that I can reel him in off the lake and bring him in to do a show on Friday. A lot of times, like today, he's down at the lake because as soon as the show is over here, I'm going to get our 3 granddaughters and we're headed to the lake for the weekend.
Oh, that'll be fun.
They've been wanting to come down and spend a weekend with Granny and Papa before school starts. So this is the weekend, and so he's getting the boats gassed up and the tubes blown up and the life jackets all down and all that, the noodles or whatever it is we're going to be doing. I'm not sure, and then we're going to make homemade ice cream Saturday.
Oh boy!
So it'll be fun. I imagine we'll be in the water probably most of the weekend. Our little girls, it's a real struggle to get them out of the lake.
Oh, I bet it is.
It's no problem getting them in. They never want to get out.
Oh, I bet.
So
I bet.
yeah, that'll be a fun weekend for that. So if you're down in the Cape Fear area and you see a boatload of 3 little girls squealing and carrying on wave, that's probably us.
Probably is.
That's probably
And of
us.
course Tucker will
and
be
Tucker
there.
and Tucker swims as well. He
With
has
his
own
little life jacket.
He does have his own life jacket.
Excellent.
And as soon as we get the boat stopped, I cannot get him in his life jacket fast enough. He cannot wait to get in the water.
Wow.
So it's going to be a really good time. I'm excited to have them all down and
I bet.
and have fun with them this weekend.
Yeah,
so.
that'll be fun. In 2 weeks, on August 12th, we got my buddy Ivan F. Tink with Bug Zero coming in.
We do.
Ivan probably knows more about the bugs and insects and all kinds of creepy crawly things and how to get rid of them than anybody I've ever met. He is a super knowledgeable guy. And, you think, oh, an exterminator, okay, they learn how to spray, a little here and there. he studies it. I mean, he is very well educated in taking care of any problem that you might have around your house with bugs or varmints or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to having Ivan in here in a couple weeks.
I love pets, but I do not like bugs, spiders, or varmints in or around my home.
Mm-hmm.
And we had I don't know how bad the termites are around here, but we've had a couple neighbors that have been dealing with termites here lately, and I'm thinking, gee whiz, I hope they stay in their yard.
Termites.
I don't know. I don't know how that works, but
we've had here lately several older houses that we've gone into to rehab, and they've had termite issues. And it's a common problem around in this area, and I think a lot of it's to do. And Ivan can tell us more on this when he comes in. But normally, of course, we're extremely dry right now, but I know we do have a lot of humidity, and a lot of times your crawl space stays kind of moist.
Sure.
One major thing that people don't realize if they have a crawl space house is to keep that crawl space cleaned out. You don't, if you're doing a remodel job or a little bit of construction, it's so easy to let those boards drop. If you got a hole in the floor or whatever, to let them drop, and then they lay under the house, and that's termite food.
Sure.
And any time that you can, take away a food source for termite, you're better off. And 9 times out of 10, the houses that we do go in like that, and I've even seen it on new houses, it's because of there's termite food under there. They've left construction material, chunks of wood and stuff, and so they start right there, and before you know it, they can really, really do some major damage.
Yep, that's for sure. So I'm hoping we don't have any of those at our place. We might need to get that checked out. We've got about 3 minutes left in the show. If you have a question for Amanda, give us a call at 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. Or if you have an idea for the show, if there's someone that you'd like to get on, something you're interested in that you'd like to get a little more information about, you can call and let us know about that too. We'll try and find the professional in that field and get them on the show.
That's right, we will.
So it's about the audience, it's about what you guys want to learn about and what you want to hear. So we'll try and accommodate you that way as well. So are you going to go to the fair this weekend, Amanda?
I am. I'm going to try to get out there. Generally speaking, I've got a break from about 2 until 5 in the afternoon when I usually do paperwork. So I'm going to sneak off to the fair a couple afternoons so I can go check out the livestock, maybe, get a little brown jug of root beer and ride a couple rides.
Well, I have a question. Do you ever, what do you do? Do you ever have people call you and for whatever reason they cannot keep their pet anymore? Maybe it's an issue where they can't stay in their home and they have to go into maybe a assisted living facility and they can't take their pets or something. Do you help people find homes for their pets if they can no longer care for them? Or
I have in the past. Being involved in rescue, it's a passion of mine, so I can connect them with certain rescue groups so that we can help find them a new home. I personally don't do matchmaking per se, but I can definitely put them in the right place with the right people so that they can get their animal rehomed if they do have to go into an assisted living facility, or if someone passes away, bless their heart, so that we can get their pets the best care possible.
Right.
So all kinds of things, anything to do with your pet.
Absolutely.
Anything to do with your pet.
We'll even pet taxi them back and forth to the vet or the groomer or what have you.
Really? So okay.
We try to make life as easy as possible.
Wow. So you will take them to the groomer for someone. Do you, like, if you're pet sitting for someone and they've been on vacation for a week or so and the dog's been outside and has rolled around and it gets kind of mucked up or whatever, will you give them baths or do you not do that?
I will take them to the groomer.
Okay.
Trust me. You do not want me grooming your pet. Like Clippers and I.
No, I was just saying, do you just bathe them? Or?
Oh, yeah. Like if they get out in the mud and roll around a little bit, yeah, absolutely. I'll clean them off. Trust me, you're never going to come home to a sick or nasty animal. So we definitely want you to come home to a happy, safe animal.
It all comes back to that peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There you go. We'll give Amanda a call.
Yeah, your number one more time.
417-827-7387. And, of course, the website's just 417petsitting.com.
Great. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Amanda. And I hope everyone has a great and cool weekend.
Yeah. Give your number out in case we have some folks that has air conditioner problems.
If you have a problem with your air conditioner this weekend, give Spring Mountain Air a call, and that number is 417-831-4036. We answer 24/7.
Great. Have a good weekend, Mary.
See you next Friday.
All righty.
Street Journal Report, I'm Jennifer Kashinka. Consumer sentiment fell in July to its lowest point in more than 2 years.